All right, welcome back to Nails by Stephanie. Hope you're doing well. Tonight we're getting into some Valentine's Day manicures. I had to actually do this manicure early for two reasons. The first reason being that I will be going on vacation next week and I won't be here on the normal day that I do my manicure. So I moved everything up a bit so that I can get two more manicures in before I leave. The one for this coming week and the one for my trip to New York. The second reason is, as much as I tried to save this nail, unfortunately it didn't work. It's still cracked again today. If you saw my video where I repaired it with fiberglass wrap, it just didn't hold it. It was too strong, the break went too far across the nail to really help it. So I had to unfortunately cut the nail down and put a new tip on, which is upsetting because I was hoping to, keep growing out my natural nails, which these pretty much are my natural nails at this point, except now for this middle finger. So I'm hoping it won't disrupt the look of this manicure too much because I am using syrup gels again, and there won't be the opacity that you get from your natural nail being behind the design. So I may have to put in an extra layer of the gel color, which is FS166 from the nail. It is the what's the name? The Psyche collection, and it's very fitting that it's got hearts all over the bottle. They're beautiful. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Beautiful bottles, and it's a beautiful collection. So I'm just going to start in with 2 coats on all of my nails, potentially 3 on the nail that I replaced. And then I'm going to show you how to use an airbrush, which I just bought myself. This is the first time I'm using it, and it came out really well, as you can see, to get that blush accent that has been going around for quite a while now. I've tried it with just doing a standard radial ombre, and that didn't really work for me. Not in this manicure, just in general. I've tried it before. I have tried sponging before, which someone suggested, and I've tried using scrubbing powder, and it just doesn't get the effect that I was looking for. So thankfully, the airbrush worked beautifully, and I will show you how I did it.
And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy we go, easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
Okay, so moving on, this is the airbrush gun that I have. This is the motor. It's got a display over here on the side showing you how much battery life there is. It is lit up, though it's difficult to see on camera. I think it's at like 75%. No, it's at 100%, which is good. And this is the gun, which is a standard airbrush gun. I do still have paint in it from doing my left hand, but I'm going to add some more. And there the motor goes. The paints that I'm using are Vivo Home. They are acrylic, water-soluble airbrush paints. You don't have to worry about the water aspect of it because it's not going to impact the way it lays on the nail. It's not going to splatter. You're not going to have to worry about the mixture of water and gel. It literally just enough to make it soluble, and it evaporates. It's also ready to spray. You don't have to mix it, which is why I got them, and I got a 12 color set. Comes in a box like this. It does come with a pink But I wanted to mix my own because this was a little too bubblegum pink for what I was going for. Although I think it actually came out to be pretty much the same. Yeah, so what I did was pry it open with my teeth, first and foremost, because I couldn't get the bottle top to twist. And I did, I think, 6 drops of the white and then 1 drop of the red. Now, you probably better to mix it separately instead of in the gun. Come on, just 1 drop. But I am too lazy for that. I have these little miniature toothpick style Q-tips, and I just like mixed it in the gun because it's the only color I am using today. All right. Now make sure you lay down paper, which I should have done beforehand. And you want to do a test spray just to see the pressure. Oop. Okay, I think it's good. And then keeping your other hand, you can put, I think I actually used up all the paint in there. You can, what was I going to say? Put liquid latex around the edges of your skin to protect from the fall off, but it's not really that necessary. Just a cleanup brush and a little bit of acetone will clean it up. But you want to aim for the center of your nail and just gently press down on the trigger. And nothing's happening. Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna end up redoing this nail because I was too close, got a little bit splotchy, but let's go on and do the next nail. And I'm trying not to block it with the air gun. And see, just like that. It takes a bit of getting used to in terms of aiming so that you get it where you want it. I keep winding up closer to the top of my nail. But in order to clean it, all you have to do is get a lint-free wipe, a little bit of alcohol, and it just wipes right off. Come on. Now it's just splattering at me. You know, this went perfectly when I did my left hand. There we go. It's just a little clogged. So if you do have it drying in the gun, if you notice it's not coming out as easily, put your finger up against the nozzle, block the airflow, and then just depress the button, and it's going to force it back up through the gun and clear it out. That's also how you clean it, but read your manufacturer's information to make sure that you're doing it properly on whatever unit you have. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I think I made it look a little bit more complicated than it is, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. So I'm going to turn this off and set it aside, and I will clean it as soon as I'm done. I'm actually going to unhook this for now because I can't get it to stand up straight, and I don't want it leaking. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Cover up my paints so that I don't knock them over or don't spill if they get knocked over. And now before I do anything else, I want to base coat over this so that if I mess up on the design at all, I don't have to remove the airbrush. And it is at this point mostly dry. You can give it a couple of minutes just to make sure that it dries all the way, but at this point you should be able to polish right over it so long as you don't drag the brush too hard. Kind of treat it as if you're treating chrome and just float the gel up the nail.
Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the other.
So this is where we are now, and we're going to go into the design, which is actually pretty straightforward. It of course does take some fine line artwork, so if that's not something that you're comfortable with, you could always use stamping, but I like doing I like using gel paints, so that's what I'm going to do. And on the thumb I did this kind of artistic. On my thumb I did a heart, so that's what I'm going to do on my left hand, and going to try to replicate the style. One side is higher and it loops down into the center.
Agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
And then loops down again at the bottom in the opposite direction. All right, not as pretty as the one on my left hand, but it'll have to do. Okay, moving on to the cherries. It's just basically 2 dots. One here, one a little bit higher. And then we're going to make it a little bit more cherry shaped and pull it out into a slight U at the top. And then round out the other side. All right, for the stem, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush because the bristles are thinner, even though I really don't need the bristles to be that long. I need to be able to drag out a pretty thin line. So we're just going to connect the cherries. Yeah, they go towards the thumb. So from the center of the top of the cherries, and then they connect. And then we can draw a little leaf. And then another one on the other side. I am going to go in and accent the color with a darker green, but first I want to cure this.
Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb.
Now I just want to put a highlight on the side of each cherry to make it stand out a bit more. So just like a little semicircle there and one over here as well.
Agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. A bigger scale, the world inhales as we go.
So going back to the red, surprisingly the most difficult I had with these nails was doing the bow. I don't know what it is about bows, they just always give me trouble, and basically it's just an infinity sign laying on its side, and that's not right at all. Right, so the bottom of one bow up to the top of the other one. And then similarly the top of the other side down to the bottom. Feels like it's lower than it should be, but we're gonna go with it. So I just want to make the top a little bit thicker and close this up. And then to do the strings, just some wavy lines coming down. Why couldn't it go that easily with doing my other hand? Now for the tic-tac-toe, X's and O's. We are going to go, what direction are we going to go? We're going to go this direction because I need to lay down my hand to draw the straight lines. And I want them to be as thin as possible. So you just want to make sure that you have a good amount of gel on the brush, but not like you don't want to have it dripping. You want to wipe it off on the side, but all the bristles should be well coated. And then dragging just the top of the brush across so that you're not splaying the bristles out and fattening the line. Just like so. And that came out better than on my other hand also. So now we're going to do the X's and O's. Actually, let me cure this first before I mess it up. So I'm going to do a line of X's because kisses always win. And then I'm going to switch to my smaller brush to do the O's. And last but certainly not least, we're going to do another heart, this one a closed heart, on the pinky. So going in with the smaller dotting tool and trying to make sure that there's no fuzz first and foremost. That it's straight up and down. So 2 dots next to each other, and then we're going to connect them in the center. And then pull the pigment down on either side into a point. And if you need to, you can pick up a little bit more pigment. to build up the opacity. All right. So I'm going to cure this, then I'm going to base and top coat. Since I did wipe the nails a few times, I want to make sure I get that tacky layer on there again, and then that'll be the manicure. All right, that finishes this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Next video is also going to be do you think it's going to be another Valentine's Day mani? I'm not sure. I definitely want to play around with an idea I have for one of my clients. She had mentioned wanting a comic book style manicure, and she's getting her nails done just before Valentine's Day. So I figured I would combine the two themes together. I really need to wash my hands. I've got acrylic paint all over them now. But yeah, so that's going to be that video, I think, if I can get myself together enough to do some samples. Otherwise, the next video will be my New York manicure. But thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down below. All information for the products I used will be in the description box below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.